Hey there, everybody. How's it going? Welcome back to another episode of Business Principles and Fundamentals. I'm here with Reed Floren, somebody who I had the pleasure of watching present at an AI Bot Summit in Las Vegas, put together by Perry Belcher. And how you doing this morning, Reed?
I'm doing great. How are you doing?
I'm doing well, man. So none of us can keep up with your slides at the summit.
Yeah, there's kind of rapid fire there of a bunch of things. So happy to help.
Your specialty, when you walked on stage and you were talking about AI and how you use it to kind of do all the things. Can you kind of tell everybody, like just an overview about your business and what you use AI for?
Yeah, so traditionally I'm mostly an affiliate marketer. So I typically promote a lot of like software as a service products. So I like promoting a lot of kind of the picks and shovels that all the business owners need, everything from funnel builders to AI platforms to things to help people like grow their email list to traffic tools, all sorts of different. It's a wide collection of different things that I typically promote and give to people and sell to people. And basically, what I do is I use AI to leverage that. So I use AI to help me play with those tools, to help integrate those tools together, to help me create the like marketing and advertising campaigns for those different things that I'm promoting. I kind of have AI and different robots kind of manage a lot of my business. So I've kind of automated a lot of different tasks inside my business.
So kind of like you have an army of AI bots at your service.
Pretty much. Yeah, yeah. Instead of having a whole team of employees, it's just me, and I've got these different automations that I play with and set up and let them run and let them do different things in my business.
What would you say is the biggest problem with AI and adapting it into business, just for the general entrepreneur slash business owner trying to grasp what's going on because it's all moving so fast.
I think you're kind of hitting it on the head right there. It's changing so fast. You learn one tool, and 100 other ones come up in the time that it took you to learn the one. That's the downside. We're at this kind of inflection point where things are just rapidly advancing, and so you might find out about a tool and you think it's great and you start using it, and then a week later there's a whole other tool that takes it to a different level, and that's the exciting thing and a little bit of the downside of where we are right now because it's changing so much and there's so much competition in the AI space and the automation space that it's exciting, but it's kind of frustrating at the same time where it's like, oh, I just learned that thing and now there's something that's 10 times better, which is good and bad. It's an interesting mix.
What would you say is like the staples right now, like the biggest AI tools or companies that if somebody wanted to kind of just focus on a few things, to kind of stay abreast of everything, because there is so many out there, there's so much noise. What would you say the few recommendations that you would say, like, hey, these are probably the ones that are going to be the biggest players, or at least the ones that you right now should be paying attention to?
Definitely. There's a few things I know in my presentation at that summit or at the Perry's AI event. I covered a couple tools that I really, really like. So one of them is called ZimWriter, which is a great tool if you want to write a lot of articles, and they've got some new stuff coming out. Even now, where they have an update this weekend that's going to be able to like scrape different websites and be able to write an article for you based off of the URLs you put in to it. So that's going to be interesting to have it kind of go off of other people's articles and write an article totally from scratch for you. But with that, I mean, I've used it to write a bunch of articles like in bulk, where I might have it do 20, 30, 50 articles, 100 articles at a time, and I give it a list of keywords and kind of what I want it to do, and it just does it in the background. And so that is really exciting, and it's cheap. I mean, it's like $10 a month for ZimWriter plus whatever your costs are for using OpenAI's API because it connects in through their API key. So that can add up, but oftentimes my articles are, I'd say, between cents and 50 or 60 cents, depending on how long I want my articles to be and what AI model I'm using. So it's really cheap because we're talking 6,000 word articles at that price point. So it's crazy inexpensive for what you're getting. The other thing that I really like is called Cheat Layer, and that's another tool that I covered in my presentation there, and that can automate a lot of different tasks on your computer. You can use it to create software, to create websites, to automate like scraping of websites, or to post on your social media. It can basically, if you can do something on your computer, you can use Cheat Layer to automate it. It's really progressing quite rapidly. Another automation platform, this one is more kind of a drag and drop kind of tool. It's called Make. So Make, make.com. And that is kind of like Zapier, if you've ever used that, where you can have it connect a bunch of different tools together and automate a lot of your business. So that's a fascinating thing. And then I'll cover something that I've just started really using since the event. There's a thing called Auto GPT and also Baby AGI. And these are two tools that can automate a ton of stuff. So you can give it kind of tell it what you want it to do. And Auto GPT or Baby AGI will go out and it will create a list of tasks that are relevant, and it'll start knocking off those tasks. So think of it as like a to-do list that actually does the task for you. So you kind of give it give it what you want it to do, and it starts doing it all on your behalf. So it's pretty fascinating. And we're at the very early stages of that, but that is really interesting to me right now.
That's crazy. Thanks for sharing that. Where would you say, like for somebody who's got like an idea, like, hey, I wonder could I have AI or an automation or a bot do this? Where would you tell people that they really need to start, looking at to do their research for something like that?
I mean, some of those things, so I've even used stuff where I'll have maybe an idea for an automation that I want to do, and I might even just go into Chat GPT and say, hey, pretend you're a make.com expert. How would you automate this process? And I'll give it a couple ideas of what I want, and it will tell me some of the different modules inside of Make that I would use to kind of replicate that idea. Now, it doesn't always get it right, but it does give me a starting point that I could go, okay, that seems like a logical flow of how I could do that, and it gives me some ideas on how to do it. So that's one way that I use it, where I kind of give it a general idea of what I want it to do, and it kind of gives me a little bit more detailed step by steps of how I should do it.
That's crazy. I never even thought about. I mean, I've heard it. People use it to write code, but I never thought about like, hey, tell me how I need to automate this, right?
So
Um,
that's kind of fun.
yeah. Um, have you had any experience with Go High Level?
Just a little bit, not much.
Just a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was trying. You know, I know that they're up and coming, and there's a lot of there's like the next. I mean, they probably would kill me if I use this reference, but they're kind of like the baby click funnels, but not so baby, if that makes any sense. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? You know, so it just see the growing pains, and I mean, like it's amazing what you can do with it, but it's again sometimes like with the rest of the AI stuff and automation, it's like there's so much. It's like, what do you do with it, right? I mean, because everybody's got something that they're trying to sell or something like that. What would you say is the biggest problem with integrating things like are you seeing that things are being more stable, more like like when a zap breaks, if you're using just Zapier and you don't realize it, like how do you prevent like not knowing that something broke if you're trying to set up an automation or something like that?
So like for instance, in Make, there is a thing that if there's an error, it can ignore it and just continue with future automations that run through. So that's one way to kind of go with it. And then you could pay attention, like you can look at your history and look at things that were kind of like incomplete or errored out, and that might give you some ideas of things to fix. But that's kind of one way to kind of go about it. I just add something kind of at the end of my automation that basically tells it to, if it errors, just kind of ignore it and wait for the next event that triggers inside of my automation. And so that way it doesn't just turn off, because I know I've had automations in the past where it might get a couple errors in a row and the automation will totally just stop. And what if it stops while you're out doing something else, or maybe you're sleeping or something and you don't notice it till the next day, and you might miss out on a lot of different things. So by having it ignore some of those errors, as long as some good data comes through during that time, things will continue to run. And then I can go back and go, oh, maybe something was kind of misconfigured, and I can go back and kind of fix that with it. And so I'll maybe check that periodically, maybe on a weekly or monthly basis, depending on the automation. It's not something I'm checking every single day, but it's something that I'll go, okay, there was a handful of things that didn't pass through. What caused that? Was there, was something not formatted correctly, or did I just kind of goof something up somewhere? Because usually that's what it is. It's something that was just kind of, maybe, like, for instance, some of my automations I have where I might get like an email notification that somebody signed up to try a new software tool. And by default, those leads aren't getting added to an autoresponder of my own, but I have different automations that go, okay, this person got added to, a trial for XYZ product. Now I have it where their email address gets added to an autoresponder of mine, where I send follow-up messages to encourage them to use the tool and how they can best use the tool, and maybe recommend a few other tools that would go along with it to help them out. And so if someone, maybe they signed up for a trial and used a not a correctly formatted email address, that may fail on my end. And so they're not going to get added to my autoresponder that way. But by having that little ignore module at the end, it won't just turn off my automation. And so I can go back and look and go, oh, that's someone that, they maybe used a comma instead of the dot for like .com. So they put like comma com instead of dot. They maybe just mistyped something on there, and that caused the error to happen. But it won't just stop everything because of it.
Right, right. No, that's a good. And then if they ignore it, then you could still pretty much have a potential list of people that signed up, right? Even though
That,
their info.
that's correct. Yeah, I can go and go, oh, that's an easy fix. Like they maybe mistyped Gmail, or they messed up the .com part or something like that. I can go, oh, if I want to, I can fix it and just put them in manually that way, or I can ignore it because, like, well, maybe they were kind of careless about it and they didn't, they signed up for a free trial and maybe weren't really that interested. So I usually don't bother with it, but I could see if it was something a little more mission critical. You could go in and go, oh, that's the actual phone number, or the actual physical mailing address, and now I want that in my CRM. That could be a useful thing to do.
Nice. What about as like you said, you do affiliate marketing? I'm noticing that there's just a lot more people. I mean, it's the American dream, right? Let's do nothing for something, right? Uh, but there's a lot of people getting into that space. What would what would kind of be your warning to people that are just now trying to jump in, take advantage of all the AI and automation, and trying to sell all that or whatever, just in general as an affiliate marketer? What have you seen changed in that industry?
I mean, a lot's changed and a lot's stayed the same. I mean, affiliate links are still kind of how they were 20 years ago and more. It's still a link that tracks things. I know we've got some issues with cookies and tracking on different devices nowadays, and that's going to change some stuff in the future for things. The greatest form of marketing is always word of mouth. If people are saying great things about you or great things about your product, that helps a lot to make a sale. And so affiliate marketing is just kind of incentivized word of mouth. It's kind of how I look at it. Now, there's with the proliferation of all the AI stuff, there's going to be people that want to create all these kind of Me Too content sites on different things. And I could see where that might be challenging as an affiliate to make money with a lot of free content. I personally go for paid advertising and I also build my email list. And so I feel like that gives me a little more control versus just trying to get something to rank on Google. Now, if you get something to rank, that's free traffic, that's wonderful, but I don't want to just rely on that. I feel like that's a really dangerous place to be. The other thing with stuff like I notice a lot of people want to be affiliates, but they want to promote maybe stuff on Amazon, which is fine, but their commission structure is so low. We're talking 1, 2, 3% for a lot of things. It's really low for what it is. Now, one advantage is you get paid for everything in their shopping cart. So if someone adds, that $5 item, but then decide they want to put in a couple $1,000 big screen TV, you're still going to get a commission on it, even if that's not anything that you were talking about. But it's just kind of difficult to make money off those one-off sales. So I prefer to go after things that I know people are going to keep for a long amount of time and pay a recurring commission. I like having, so for instance, software products. If I sell someone a software tool, and you had mentioned Go High Level, so let's say I was promoting Go High Level as an affiliate. I could drive traffic to Go High Level, and someone could decide to buy, and I'm going to get, I want to say they're like 30 or 40% on each sale for Go High Level. I'm going to get that commission every single month for as long as that person's a customer of Go High Level. And so that is a nice business model to be in, because if you can get someone to sign up for a tool, decide they like the tool, start using the tool in their business where it's actually generating them additional money. So they're not really viewing the tool as an expense, they're viewing it as an investment, then they're going to stay on that tool possibly for life. So you might get someone that signs up and you might be getting commissions for them for the next 10, 20 years because they're using that tool to run their business. And I think that's just a fascinating business model, to be able to, connect people with tools that help them grow their business and run their business, automate their life, and give them everything you need. And I just happen to get paid for it on a monthly basis, which is a lot of fun.
Nice. No, definitely. What would you say? So, a couple questions as you were talking, I was thinking, so um with going back to the whole privacy thing and all the, I'm seeing so many things right now with like California and Colorado just issued their own privacy stuff, and TCPA is coming, like for people that are texting, there's a bunch of stuff. Like what is your take on all that stuff that's going on, and how are you going to be able to do affiliate marketing and still be able to track everything like that and know that you're getting paid for all your efforts?
Well, I think there always is going to be a little bit of affiliate fraud for stuff. There's either going to be people that go, "Oh, I'll just sign up and get my own affiliate link and buy something that way." So you definitely have that going on. There's definitely networks and tools that don't track everything properly. So that does happen. So I kind of figure that as just kind of a cost of doing business for a lot of things. I mean, there's also affiliate programs that may not pay you or may take forever to pay you. So I've definitely had those over the years too. So I consider it kind of a cost of doing business, and I like to kind of slowly ramp up and kind of see how things are doing. Like I don't want to just create a campaign and start dropping thousands of dollars a day on ads with it. I want to make sure I'm getting paid by that provider first. And so I'll slowly start up. I might do a 5, 10, 20 bucks a day for an ad and kind of see, okay, how are my conversions? Is this, actually, are people actually buying this thing? Or, am I actually getting paid on time by them? Those kind of things before I start scaling it up. Now, um, with that in mind, as an affiliate, I don't typically worry about a lot of those kind of business issues, like um, different privacy laws and like TCPA and all these different things. I feel a lot of that is on the business owners side, that they need to have a lot of that taken care of on their end. And that maybe some naivety on my part. I'm not an attorney or anything, but I feel like a lot of that, since I'm just kind of recommending a tool and not necessarily processing the transactions or even collecting the leads on their site in particular, I feel like a lot of that is more for the business owner to take care of, just like they're more taking care of the customer support and creating the copy and fixing the product if there's an issue and stuff like that. My job is to just put the right eyeballs in front of their offer, and kind of direct that traffic to them that could potentially lead to a sale. I kind of view it in a way where I'm kind of a commission sales rep, if you will. But instead of getting paid once, I'm getting paid, for the lifetime of that customer.
Nice. No, yeah, I agree with your take on that, especially with affiliate marketing. Again, I'm not an attorney either, but if you're not the one doing the follow up, you're just doing the recommendation, then it's not you just doing the reach out. So it shouldn't be you on the hook for all the other stuff.
Yeah,
Um,
that's kind of my take on it. There isn't a whole lot. They're signing up for that company. If I happen to send some follow ups because they've signed up through my link, I try to make that pretty clear that, hey, I'm following up with you because you signed up for a trial of XYZ, and I referred you to it from, maybe a blog post or whatever, and I might reference that, and so that kind of jogs their memory of why they're getting a message from me.
Nice. So I had done something back in 2019. I was asked to put together a presentation on what are the fundamentals that somebody could put into any business to help them grow, fix or whatever a business. And I came down to positioning, presence, proximity, and possibility. So, as an affiliate marketer, do you position? Are you doing, or would you say it's important to position yourself as somebody who's in the know so people like honor your recommendations, so you have to position yourself, or you do more of like the blind, just like, hey, this is a tool, blah blah, like where it's not necessarily you as a brand.
I do feel that you as a brand is ultimately going to help more. Like, I've had people over the years that have specifically reached out saying, "Hey, do you have an affiliate link for XYZ product or tool?" And I don't, but I'll go and generate one. I'll go get one and give it to them, because they were looking to buy and they want to make sure I got a commission because of other things that I've helped them out with. So that is a kind of a fun position to be in, of having that. Obviously, if you're creating, let's say you're creating videos or blogs or something like that, and you're kind of branded yourself as an expert on the topic, and maybe you could offer some sort of incentive, like for instance, if they bought XYZ tool, you could give them some sort of bonus. Maybe we'll go with Go High Level as an example. If they bought Go High Level, maybe you'd help them transfer their stuff over from a different tool. Maybe they were using ClickFunnels or whatever. You'd help them kind of migrate over, and that would be like a nice bonus you could offer for someone that was looking to buy Go High Level, and that way you could market to ClickFunnels users that way. I mean, you could do the same thing, with kind of any tool, where you could be like, well, here's either some service that I've got, or here's some digital training or tools that you could have as a bonus. And in order to get it, you have to, clear your cookies, buy through my link. Here's my link, and then email me your receipt, kind of thing. That's some stuff that you can do to um, help make sure that you get those affiliate commissions. That you we talked a little bit earlier about the potential of having it where you could miss out on some stuff. Maybe it doesn't get tracked properly. That's one way to kind of hold the companies accountable for it, and also building that relationship with your audience, because you've got these different bonuses or these other things that they can get if they buy through your link. So that's one way, to kind of combine what you're talking about and increase the amount of commissions that you can make, because it gives people more of a reason to buy from you versus just buying directly from the company.
Nice. So how do you go about, the second thing being presence? Like, how do you go about figuring out? Like, obviously, it's always research, right? All the money's made in the research, but how's your best, I don't know, tactic or whatever to find like where the people are? So, say you find a tool that you want to do, be a marketer for, you want to market. What's your best way of finding out? Like, where can I find the people that I want to sell this to?
Well, oftentimes, so we talked about how there's so many tools, and there's new tools that come up. They're almost like a hydra. You chop the head off one tool, and three more take its place. And so one thing that I like to do, being that I'm in the picks and shovels tool selling business, is I will do for instance, like a Google ad campaign, but I'll bid on like the direct competitors of that tool. So I might look for like alternatives to go high level. For instance, I might Google that and it might give me 10 or 20 different products that are kind of similar. And I'll use those keywords in my campaigns or set up specific campaigns for that and then promote, say, go high level in this example. And that way I'm getting the people that are, maybe they might already have an account with those tools. So they might be looking for some help with that. They might be looking at, reviews or bonuses for getting those tools and be open to something else. I also do campaigns where it's like people that have visited like the login pages for different tools. So that way I know it's a user of a tool, and that way I can, offer something that would give them a reason to kind of migrate from one tool to the other. And so that's kind of a bit of a backdoor strategy. And so I don't specifically go with, I don't necessarily create campaigns where I'm like bidding for like CRM tool or, funnel building tool or something like that. Oftentimes my campaigns are bidding on a lot of their direct competitors, keywords and website names, because I figure that's someone that has indicated some level of interest that they're open to buying some sort of tool, and they might buy the original tool they were looking for, or they might go, hey, this other thing looks pretty cool. I'm willing to sign up for a free trial. And so they sign up for a free trial. They decide they like it because maybe they got some additional content from me that helped them make use of it during that time, and then I'm getting those commissions.
Nice. Would you say when it comes to proximity, do you market to people that are like you do go for the more from your answer, I'm assuming it's people that are already in the market or already using something, like you said, that's a competitor to where's, so you're not spending time marketing to educate people about the magic of some kind of tool, are you?
Typically not. I want to go direct for the sale as much as possible. And by sale for me, oftentimes it's a free trial. They sign up for a free trial and start using the tool. So I'm going for people that are pretty far down the funnel. They're, uh, I guess, like product and solution aware. And so they're just kind of comparing different options of different tools, or maybe they've tried some tool and they're not 100% satisfied with it. Well, they're open to checking out this other tool. And I give them the reason why. Oftentimes it's a trial or something else that kind of pushes them over the edge, and they sign up, and then I get those recurring commissions.
Nice. So in a non-scientific, reference, what do you see that works better, and just does it just depend on the tool, like free trials or bonuses to buy?
I mean, if you combine the two, it's a kind of a 1-2 punch with things. Free trials, especially in the software as a service space, it's almost always going to happen. Like there's most tools have a free or a low cost trial to them that I've noticed, and a lot of things that might be 7 days, 14 days, 30 days. Those are kind of the typical thing. So that in a way is not like super enticing, just because everyone is offering a trial. So I think the next step is offering some sort of bonus. So it may be creating some sort of bridge page that's, highlighting some of the issues with different tools. It may even be breaking down two different tools and then offering, hey, why don't you sign up for a trial of XYZ tool, and if you sign up for the trial or you keep the trial, you're going to get all these different bonuses, or, a specific bonus that really helps them out. Like for instance, that, migrating someone from one tool to another would be a pretty high perceived value, uh, just because it would take a lot of effort. And that's something that you could have a VA do. There might even be a way to automate a good chunk of that process. So just kind of spitballing ideas here, but that's, one way that you could possibly build that relationship with that customer, where they would then stick with you and maybe try out some other products because you're going that extra step.
Nice. And do you feel that, like, being an affiliate, do you make sure that you if you know that you're marketing something that has a free trial, do you make sure that you're kind of giving that, helping to give them some kind of win during that time so that they stick and transfer over to the paid?
Yeah. So, for instance, a lot of things that I promote, I end up getting a copy of the lead that signed up for the free trial, and so I have it go into an autoresponder of mine where I'll have some follow-ups in place, and it may just link back to blog posts or different content from the actual tool creator. Like I'll usually kind of start with that, or it might have some content that I've made, maybe some YouTube videos or something that kind of walks through, oh, here's a unique way to use XYZ tool that'll help you get a fast result. And so I'll put some follow-ups in place for that. It might be, a week, it might be 30 days, it might be longer of some different follow-ups. Kind of depends on how profitable the campaign is. I'll start with like a week or two of follow-ups in place, and then I'll add more as time goes on. And I don't initially start with this. Like I start driving traffic to it, see if I can get any sales to it before I even create any of these additional campaigns or any of this email stuff, because I want to promote a bunch of different things and see what works and then maximize my results with it. And by seeing what works, I'm not necessarily looking for profit right away. I just need to see that I'm getting trials, and those trials are converting into customers. If they're actually converting into customers, even if I'm losing a bunch of money on my ads, I know that eventually I'll break even, because either I will have optimized my campaign enough, or the people are going to stay on long enough, or the people are going to buy another tool that I recommend later on in my email series that complements the tool that they've signed up for. So I'm willing to go negative on my ad campaigns, because I know that after X amount of months, I'm in the black with that customer, whether they've bought or whether they're still subscribed to that tool, or they've bought 3 or 4 other tools that go well with it because I've recommended them in an email sequence.
Nice. I love that you covered that, because there's so many people that, in regardless what industry, that you know they want to put $1 in and instantly get $20 back. And like, I know Todd Brown talks about, the advanced marketer is okay with going negative because they know what their back end numbers look like.
That's all what it is. It's all back end. That's where the money is to be made. I kind of treat it almost like if I were to get into real estate or franchises or things like that, that very first day of renting out a property, you're not going to be in the black from buying an investment property. You're not going to get the whole mortgage paid day one. Same thing with a franchise. You might put $1 million into opening I don't know, Subway or McDonald's or something, and you're not going to make that day one. It's going to take a while. So I look at it that way, where these are kind of investments that I'm building up. Some of them slowly, some of them a little bit faster, and they start paying a nice monthly recurring income. Um, after a few months of having it run, and then I can decide, hey, do I want to kind of pause my ads because this isn't converting the best, or do I want to really scale up the ads and ramp up the traffic because I've got a winner here, and I want to make sure I can make as much money as possible with it. So that's it's kind of a fun business model.
No, definitely, because it's all math, right? It's all
Yep,
there.
it's all math.
About and for the last thing of the 4 fundamentals that I had come up with, possibility, how much of your ads do you focus on explaining the possibility of the tool, or the potential of it, to use another word, but like, do you really go on features and benefits heavy, or how do you focus on possibility in your marketing?
Uh, I guess a lot of my ads are kind of like looking for alternative to, and that might be the keyword. Yeah, and say the keyword is like the competitor name. Looking for an alternative to ClickFunnels, question mark, and then it might say, you know, if you're looking for something different to the keyword, we've got just the thing for you, and kind of highlight some of the things of what is more the USP of that particular product. So the unique selling proposition for those listening, and kind of go over that. And my goal of my Google ad is just to, for instance, just to get them to click. So if I can entice them that, hey, I've got a solution that's, maybe it's cheaper, it's better, or it does something a little bit different, they'll click through to see what it is, and see and then I let the actual sales page for the product itself, for the particular software as a service offer, to sell the customer. My goal is to just give them traffic that, or my job is to just give them traffic that's open to trying something different, open to grabbing their wallet, getting out a credit card, and buying or investing in a particular tool to get an end result. And so if I can find either the direct competitors or people that are in the market for XYZ tool, or maybe they already are using a tool very similar to what I'm promoting, they can then decide, this other thing looks pretty interesting. I think I want to sign up for it. And so I go kind of lazy in that way with it. It's not like I'm setting up like a really fancy page, like comparing the two different things. I usually direct link to the offer itself. And so my affiliate links are kind of sneaky. They're things like register, sign up, trial, demo, coupon, things like that. I'm not using my name or a company name or anything like that for my affiliate ID. It's usually things like that. And I've noticed that different ad platforms don't seem to care because they just think it's kind of like a UTM tracking parameter, the way it looks inside the link. So it's kind of a sneaky way to do it, if you will.
So, I mean, I like it because you're kind of going after the potentially disgruntled user, right? So if you're saying, are you looking for an alternative for X? There's a reason why they're looking for alternative. It's either costing them too much or X isn't working the way they want. So that's a good angle, because if you're deep using something and the promise that it gave you, but it's not necessarily achieving that promise, and the possibility of there's another tool that might do it for cheaper or better. That's definitely, human nature is to be curious.
And exactly, and I've noticed that that's how I typically shop. So if I'm looking to try something new, I'll look for comparison, alternative, review, things like that for different tools, just because I'm interested in it. And so I do the same thing with pieces of technology or pretty much anything. I find that before I've maybe made the decision, I'm 9/10 of the way there. I'm ready to buy, but I'm just not 100% sure if that's the one tool that I want or the one item I want. I'm going to be searching for alternative to, and just kind of get an idea. Well, here's the three different things that are really similar, and it'll help me pick. And I'll decide, that my original thing was great, and that's wonderful. If I promote a different affiliate tool and they decide that they want to go with the one they were originally searching for, that's great for them. At least they found what they were looking for, and they don't necessarily have to go down the rabbit hole of the tool I provided them with. But I find a lot of ways, at least with me, that if I'm presented with an opportunity to sign up for something for free when I was in a buying mood for something else, and try it out and see if it would work for what I want to do, or maybe it's even better than what I was initially looking at, that pushes me over the edge. And I feel like that pushes a lot of people over the edge.
Yeah, no, definitely true. What would and getting close to wrapping this up, but what would you say, you know, like somebody just starting out or somebody trying to really tweak their campaigns, or I liked how you mentioned that you don't go in like, you're not just dumping thousands of dollars from the beginning. You're testing the system, you're testing the tool to make sure you get paid, all the testing your ads, all that good stuff. But like, what are typical, or like conversion rates and things of that nature that somebody could expect to see when they're running ads for affiliate marketing, or just in general? Because I know that the ad space changes so much, and depending on the platform, it's all going to be dependent on that. But what are some of the numbers that you would say are kind of typical that you would look at?
I mean, that's challenging. So that's going to be dependent on the offer itself. It's going to be dependent on a lot of things like the pricing of the thing. So that's really going to be hard to answer. I'll give kind of an idea of kind of how I would start a campaign. So let's say that you want to promote something, and maybe you've got $5 a day or $10 a day that you could afford to lose, because that's how you should be treating it. You should be treating it as money that you can afford to lose. So at $5 a day, that's 150 a month. 10 bucks a day would be 300 bucks a month. That's definitely a doable amount, I feel, for most people, that they could afford to lose, afford to gamble with, to try something out. It's not like going out and getting a $100,000 loan to go start some sort of lawn care business or something. They're going out there and they're putting a little bit of money aside that they might have spent somewhere else. Maybe going out for a weekend, they just decide not to do that, and they invest it into promoting an offer. So I would pick one particular offer, preferably a tool that you're already using, something that you found some sort of success with, so that way that it's like a legitimate thing. So maybe it's you talked about go high level. We'll go with that for instance. So maybe you would create um, an ad campaign for go high level, and you'd go after different direct competitors that go high level has, for different elements of their tool. Like I know their tool is kind of like 20 different tools in one. It seems to kind of have everything in it. So I would maybe create a campaign that would focus on a particular thing. Maybe it would be their funnel building aspect of it. And so I would come up with different funnel builder tools. So things like Click Funnels and Groove and Lead Pages and this, that, and the other, and kind of put those all into a list. So I would Google myself. I would say alternatives to go high level, alternatives to Click Funnels, alternatives to Groove, alternatives to Lead Pages, and so on and so forth. And that's going to get me a list. It might be 100 tools deep, that it might give me a list of all these different things. And so I would put those into, I would use those as keywords. So the actual product name of those competitors into my Google ad. And then people that are, maybe searching for, like, here's a sneaky trick. So it might be people that are searching for like ClickFunnels login. That's someone that's a customer, for instance, because they're looking for their login page. And so that way, my ad will show up. Are you thinking about switching from ClickFunnels kind of thing? And they might go, oh, what's this? And they'll click through and they'll see my, in this example, they'll see my affiliate link ad for go high level. And so that's one way to kind of test that out. And you can see, by doing that, you can get an idea of what tools are popular, because you're going to see which things you're getting impressions on, things you're getting clicks, which is potentially going to lead you to other tools that you could promote too. Because you might be like, oh, okay, maybe Lead Pages gets way more search than you'd expect. You might go, oh, what are some direct competitors to Lead Pages that I could promote? And you could promote that as an affiliate. Like that might be a campaign you set up a week later, for instance, or a month later. So it kind of leads to you generating a bunch of different campaigns that way, because you're already kind of doing a lot of the research once. You might as well reuse that knowledge and create ads that in a way are kind of competing with yourself, but you're being able to promote a lot of different tools that way. So I would start small, start with one particular tool, spend $5 to $10 a day, and then once you start seeing some sales come through, increase that. Like, be willing to go negative, be willing, not crazy, but be willing to lose a little bit of money, because some of these people are going to stay on for years. And so it's eventually going to pay off. If you can get a copy of the leads, and you're growing an email list that way too, which is really cool. That leads to a lot of possibilities for promoting a lot of different things. So I don't particularly go, oh, here's a product that I'm going to get, $3 EPC and it converts at 10% or anything like that. I'm not specifically trying to find that information, because I know that really changes with a lot of things, and it really is dependent on so many elements. Excuse me, so many elements of the sales page itself and the offer itself. But that's kind of hard to do. But I like to just kind of try promoting a bunch of different offers, and I would start with one or two. That way, you're not investing thousands of dollars a day on different ads, but you can dip your toes in, promote a product or two, start making some sales, start getting some trials that sign up for things, and then let it snowball from there. You might create additional ads for that product the following month. You might create different ad campaigns for different companies, different products the next month. You might just increase your budget or bids. You might go, oh, I can afford, I'm getting sales on this. Maybe I spent $150 that month on ads, but I made $300 in commissions. Well, I might jump it up to, well, I'm going to spend $10 a day on ads because I'm already getting the $300 a month in commissions. So that's going to more than likely cover my ad spend for the next month. And if I get more sales, I'm still in the black. And go, oh, gee, I'm, month 3, I might go, well, let's bump it up to, 15 or $20 a day, and see if that works, and slowly scale it up. And by the end of a year, you might be at 100 or $200 a day on a campaign, just kind of slowly ramping it up. And then, imagine if you're doing that, but you had potentially dozens or hundreds of campaigns that you've set up. It can be a very interesting business model.
Nice, nice. I did, and I had attended your virtual summit. That was awesome, and
Oh,
I
thanks.
did, yeah, I did the VIP because I definitely wanted the recordings because all of your presenters seemed like you guys were all like just dumping out a bunch of information real fast.
Oh, thank you. Thanks.
It was so. What you know is there anything that people can get a hold of you or anything? We'll definitely I'll have you send me whatever links you want to add in the show notes and all that. But anything you'd like to speak about here at the end?
Well, being that you mentioned that summit, I guess anyone that would be interested in checking that out, that's aivirtualsummit.com. And that'll give you an idea of some of the things that I do online, and some different tools that I've promoted to. So you can sign up for that, and check that out. And you can find me online. My name is Floren, and I'm pretty much on all the different social media platforms. So you can find me there, and contact me that way.
Sounds good, man. Well, I appreciate your time.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks for having me.
No, thank you.